Hello guys and welcome to another track guide video, and today we got Brent's hatch in group 4, and in this track guide video we'll be using a Genesis G70, but in the race I would really recommend doing something else. Eventually you want to end up with a car that doesn't burn a lot of fuel, so I would recommend Renault Megane Trophy or even the Toyota 86. I think those cars are pretty good in the race and they don't need a lot of fuel saving, so you can pretty much save a little bit of time just by not fuel saving that much. But this car is good for the qualifying, and I'm just gonna show you my lap. So without further ado, let's get going. Okay, and let's start with this track guide, and the first thing that I'm looking for are those marshals on the left. This is actually the marshals box, usually where the marshals stand in the race, and I'm not gonna be applying too much braking here, maybe about 50-60%, which is then gonna translate to about 30-40, and I use that because you don't want to get a lot of understeer. So if you apply too much on the brakes, you're gonna get a lot of understeer either way. Same goes with the steering, so you just got to minimize your steering inputs and of course your braking inputs, which I'm also gonna do in here. But I have to say, quick on the power, so power out of the corner, because when you're in second, this car gets a little bit of that snap of the back, which is quite useful when you're going around slow corners like this one. So eventually you want to downshift before the curb, and then when you reach the second curb, quickly again on the power to get rotation off the back end, like we did in the first and the second corner. It's pretty similar all the way around this track. I mean, you're pretty much using the same principles as you go around. So I'm looking at the one sign there. This is usually the 100. Braking a little bit. I'm thinking about braking not more than 60%. I broke slightly too much, and just before the line you really need to hit the power so it rotates the back end of the car, and eventually you will get a very nice line onto the straight. So you need to carry a little bit more speed out of that corner because you just got the long straight, and eventually it pays dividends. So it's kind of worth it going a little bit wider into that one. So here, looking at that one sign once again, just quickly applying the brakes, maybe up to 30-40%, not more than that. I have to say, not more than that, otherwise the car will understeer so much. Here I'm looking at that post on the left, and that's the indication where I just want to get on the power so quickly, so it once again rotates the back, and the same thing is gonna happen here. So we're looking to the left hand side, a little bit on the brakes, let the car rotate, and quickly on the curb. So as the car lands once again onto the track, you need to put the power down. If you're doing that on the curb, the car might go sideways in kind of unwanted way, but eventually I think this car is pretty stable after all. So one sign, once again, a little bit on the brakes, maybe about 50-40%, something like that, and quickly in fourth gear and power out of this one. I didn't think that I carried that much speed in there, so there is definitely more speed. But here, off the brakes before the turn, so you don't want to trail brake too much into that because you got a nice little curve that's going to rotate the car very nicely. And of course you got to use third gear and power out of that, because once again the car is going to do such a good job on rotation out of that corner. So here, once again, a little bit on the brakes, and as you turn in, you don't want to use a lot of trail braking, otherwise the car gets so much understeer. I mean, it's not really so much, it just gets you,
there we go,
just a tiny bit of understeer that you just don't need. But eventually I made it up to 28. This can be a lot faster than what I did right here, but I think I'm eventually gonna get there. Either way guys, if you like this video, please smash the like button, or you might even want to consider subscribing to the channel if you already haven't. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye. I can get this. There we go. .8.